Hey everyone, and welcome to Coach Neve. My name is Tom, and I'm starting this channel to share with you all the valuable information that will help you improve your golf game. The information that I'll communicate through this channel has been acquired through 15 years of performing at an elite level, both here in the UK and in America in amateur level, and also over here on the mini circuits such as the Euro Pro and the TP Tour. Adding to that, I am only 3 months away from completing my 3-year course with the PGA at the University of Birmingham, and they are providing me with all the skills that I need to coach and provide you with credible and valuable information. But enough about me, let's jump into Tom's top tip of today. So in today's tip, we're going to talk about the ball striking area. Often, I see a lot of golfers make contact with the ground first. This is going to affect our striking of the ball, the distance the ball goes, and of course its accuracy. Now, to train that bad habit of making contact with the ground first out of us, we're going to have to start focusing a little bit more on what our sternum is doing. What you will have noticed is the fat golf shot often is a result of this motion here. Watch how my weight stays on my back foot, my shoulders start pointing up in the air, my sternum moves behind the ball, and what that's done is just moved the low point of your golf swing behind the ball, therefore contact with the ground first. One of the main reasons I come across as to why my students make this motion here is because we're taught from a very young age that to hit the ball up in the air, we need to create this motion here. If we think about it, tennis, badminton, squash, to hit the ball up, we all make this motion. See, now golf is contradictive to this. We actually want to descend into the back of the ball. We want to be hitting down. And that is going to be a key thing to think about when trying to produce this motion. Okay, so now that we have a good idea of what's causing the motion, let's see if we can start to focus a bit more on what we need to achieve in order to hit that better golf shot. So, one thing we're going to try and work on is we're going to try and keep this sternum right in line with the golf ball. That's going to bring that low point of the swing more on top of the ball, and therefore making contact with ball then ground. Notice how when I turn back and then turn back on through, now my weight is more on top of the ball, if not shifting forwards, my sternum on top of the ball, and my shoulders a bit more parallel with the ground here. That is going to produce that nice clean contact that we're after. So there are a few ways that you can ensure and measure the new skill, right? One of the things that you've probably noticed I've done is I've popped down a club which points at a right angle to the target line. This is pointing straight at the ball, and I can use this as a bit of a reference point throughout my swing. As you can see, I keep a nice centered ball position. I'm using an 8-iron here, so that's about right. See how it sits directly underneath my sternum? Now what I'm going to try and do is throughout the full motion of the swing, I will try and keep my sternum on top of this nice straight line beneath us. And that should help you measure whether you are behind, on top, or in front of the ball. Another fantastic reference point that you can use to ensure that you're doing this skill correctly is going to be your divot pattern, or if you're on a mat, a scuff mark pattern. So we can take away the ball here entirely and see how we've got our club pointing directly at an imaginary ball. We will then make a swing and try and make contact with the ground. What we're looking for is we're looking for that scuff mark to be slightly in front of the club. If it's behind or in line, that shows us that perhaps our sternum is moving still a little bit behind the ball and not staying on top. As you can see there, I've managed to shift my sternum slightly forwards. Contact with the ground is just in front of the club. That would be an indicator that I've produced the correct movement and I'll be making contact with the ball first. A final great reference point which you can use is going to be what I like to call a golfer's pose. Every time we watch the guys on TV, you'll see them finish a shot and they'll be up in this position. See how the weight is transferred to the left side. I'm stood up nice and tall facing the target, and my right heel is completely off the ground. I'm literally just pivoting on the toes. There's no weight going back down in there. So if you can try and make every single golf swing where you can find that position, then it would be safe to say that your sternum hasn't tried to shift behind the ball. And in fact, you may even see a big improvement in your ball striking. The last thing we really need to take focus on is our measurement of performance. We've talked about how we can use reference points to alter the way that we are producing the skill, but we really want to know, are we improving? And the best way of doing that is trying to put yourself under a bit of pressure. So the way I like to do that is by limiting the amount of balls you're going to hit and measuring how many times you produce the strike you're after. So for example, you'd be looking at taking 5 golf balls here, and for each time you make contact with ball and turf, you give yourself a point. And your target would always be somewhere up in and around 3-4 points. And then as you progress, you can try and then get to the 100% mark. Now within this section, I'd like you to pay close attention to the swings I make. The first swing here, I hit the ball flat. See how the right foot stays flat on the ground, the weight shifts backwards, the sternum falls behind the club. And in the second swing here, you'll notice that the sternum stays much more centralised on top of that club that's flat on the ground. I turn through into that nice golfer's posing position and then start chasing the ball like a melon around the garden. And that concludes Tom's top tip for today. I do hope that you enjoyed the video and learned a lot from it, and that it helps you improve your golf game for tomorrow. Please, by all means, leave comments, like, subscribe, keep up to date with all my new videos. I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.